It was simple, we thought. Take a few chromosomes, slice them up, put them over there, and hey, perfect human being. I'm still not sure what went wrong. Maybe a miscalculation, a misprocedure, or hell, maybe something beyond our control. Who knows? We, and by we I mean a few of my psychologist colleagues and I, were intrigued by human emotion. Anger, despair, euphoria. Was it possible to lock the mind into one emotion, to lock it into a euphoric state so that no sadness or anger would cloud its thought? Theoretically, yeah. I'm not going to sit here and describe the procedures of our experiment to you. Both because I wouldn't want you to repeat them and make the same mistake we did, but also I fear I'll go mad if I have to recount them. The terrible things we did. We were young, ambitious. Nothing could stop us, and no one could tell us we were wrong. All I will tell is that we got a hold of a few stem cells, nurtured them into fetuses, and tampered ever so slightly with the genetics. The experiment was deemed the Angel Man Project, and the goal was to create a being which felt only happiness. But something went terribly wrong. Half of the test subjects died unexpectedly, without warning or without cause. The remaining half were mostly born hideously distorted. And 3 were born well. And perfect, we thought. A human with mental capability beyond any other due to its locked euphoric state. They were perfectly normal up to 18 months, and that's when the first symptoms started to appear. Lack of balance, trouble sleeping and eating, low responsiveness. We all panicked, on the inside of course, but on the outside we tried to remain calm, and we decided to continue the project. But we should have. We should have ended it there. We should have taken those damn subjects and euthanized them and burned them and closed the lab. But we continued, and things only got worse. The subjects' movements became increasingly sporadic, and they still couldn't utter words, although they could laugh, and they did so often, much too often. Not happy laughter, but quiet, almost nervous laughing, and nearly constant. No matter how much pain was inflicted on the subject, it merely stared at you and laughed, as if it were mocking you, calling your attempts to harm it futile. We expected the subjects to have extra learning capabilities too, but quite the opposite occurred. Their mental development was severely delayed. They couldn't pay attention to something for more than a few minutes before lapsing into a laughing fit. But we continued, and we hoped that these symptoms would clear up as the children got older. We gave the name to the symptoms: Happy Puppet Syndrome, because the mindless movements of the children made it seem like they were puppets on strings. God, just remembering all this makes my skin crawl. Anyways, 5 years into the project, we realized there was no hope. We could no longer stand the incessant laughing of these kids, and as if it was if they knew something we didn't, as if it was some kind of joke passed between them. To look at a child and to see it twitch sporadically and laugh excessively is a haunting thing. And two of my colleagues had already quit because they couldn't stand it. I never heard from them afterwards. They're most likely dead. The children hadn't taught for 5 years. They'd only laughed their damned laugh. We went in to give them breakfast, and they stared at us with their huge eyes twitching and giggling and saying nothing. We laid the meal in front of them and left. The meal was laced with toxins that would silently and painlessly kill the subjects. I know it was a painful thing to do, but it had to be done. But it proved that it would not be that easy. As a friend of mine set a tray of food in front of one of the boys, the laughing stopped. The boy looked up at my friend, his eyes suddenly dark, dead serious, the laughing gone. Then continued to stare at him and twitch for a while. My friend was in shock, and he wouldn't move. My colleagues and I stood with a pen and notepad ready to take notes. Suddenly my friend fell to his knees, grasping his head and yelling furiously. He appeared to be in tremendous pain. My colleagues and I were so surprised by this that we couldn't do anything but sit and watch. My friend collapsed to the floor, yelling curses. He jerked violently a few times, and then went limp. I held back the urge to be sick, more successfully than a few of my colleagues. Something about this was not normal. Even less normal than before, a dark presence just seemed to tower over us. We immediately sealed the entrance. The boy stopped, looked at the door, and laughed. He fell to the floor, twitching and rolling about, laughing insanely. The other two did the same, and after a few minutes, the fit ceased, and they stood up, still twitching, still giggling. The lights went out. I heard crashes and glass shattering and screams. And the most horrifying thing of all were the haunting whispers coupled with the quiet laughing. When the lights went back on, subjects were gone. Two of my colleagues lay unconscious beside me, their bodies twisted at odd angles and blood trickling from their drooping mouths. And at first they appeared to be dead. They showed no vital signs, but as I leaned in, I could hear them laughing, ever so slightly. I went over to examine my friend. No pulse, no breathing, but he continued to laugh quietly. Although the subjects had gone, I still felt as if something was watching me. Something that was just at the edge of my vision, but that I'd never be able to see it. Me and one remaining colleague closed everything down immediately. Before leaving, we destroyed our research, and we locked and barricaded the lab. I lost communication with my colleagues. I also presume that they are dead. I still feel like I'm watched. I can still hear the laughing and the whispering, and in my dreams, and sometimes when I'm awake. Now when I do, I run. I get up and I leave wherever I am. I'm not able to stay in the same place for more than a few days because of this. Oh, and it spread. Yeah, other children were seen with similar symptoms. I got no idea how it spread. It shouldn't be something that spreads. Somebody somewhere made something up about disjunction of the 15th chromosome, and that kept the people happy and in the dark for now. And the disease, it was coined Angelman syndrome. So far, the spawn are not dangerous, but I know the originals still lurk somewhere. And I know that they're coming for me. I know they'll find me. I accept this. It is what I get for attempting to tamper with nature. So I leave this letter as a warning. They're coming for you too. They're coming for all of us. If you ever hear whispering or laughing at the edge of your hearing, run. If you ever feel as if something stands right at the edge of your sight, but you can't look at it, run. And also, I warn you this. First off, do not tamper with what is not yours. 2, even angels can be demons in disguise. And 3, finally, don't come look for me, because I'm as good as dead.